Good evening, guys. Tonight we're going to talk about how to use Penumbra. And the first thing that we will need is 3 wallets, or really just 2, and the third is optional, but we're going to be using Keplr wallet and Prax wallet. I do have the links here for those interested, and what we're going to do is we're going to use Coinbase to purchase some USDC and ETH, and we're going to send this to our Keplr wallet, which supports ETH natively now, and then we're going to use Skip to shield these funds into Penumbra. And it's worth noting that leaving these shielded funds in Penumbra over time is the best way to increase privacy, not only for yourself but for others. We will then verify that we received the shielded funds, and we will then go over to Veil, a state-of-the-art DEX that was just launched recently, and we will swap our USDC for the native token of Penumbra. And then, as an optional bridge into Zcash, I will show you how to use Keplr swaps in the wallet to swap your for ETH, which you can also use on the Osmosis DEX, but in this case it's easier to use the wallet. And we will deposit that ETH into near intents that will allow us to swap for ZEC, and we will withdraw this ZEC into Ywallet and then shield those funds. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so once we log into Coinbase, we're going to choose Ethereum, and we're going to send funds. We're going to add our Keplr address, which we can pull up in the wallet, and we're going to choose the network that we want to use to send. So as you can see, there are different pricing, but for simplicity we're going to use Ethereum, and then it's going to ask for the amount. You can type in either the USD value, or you can swap it and use the ETH value, whatever is easier for you. And in this example I'm going to use ETH. Previously I had sent USDC, but the process is the same. And it's worth noting that on Coinbase there is a feature to whitelist, which is highly recommended because that will prevent funds from being sent to an address that you don't control. So now we're going to go to go.skip.build. Notice there are two sides to connect on your Keplr. The top, we're going to choose USDC, but the Ethereum chain. And then on the bottom, where we're sending the funds, we're going to do USDC as well. But this time we're going to go to the Penumbra network. Just type in P here, should show up. Perfect. And now you just click send. Notice how it tells you where the USDC is going on each network. And this process is going to take about 18 minutes. So we're going to connect our Prax wallet. Notice how it's loaded on the top right corner. And once we approve this, the process will start. There we go. One last approval. And as soon as this is done, I will be right back. Alright, almost done here. And as soon as this finishes, I'll refresh my Keplr wallet, which should update the transferred funds. You can click on the top right corner here to see where the status is, and it should turn green. There we go. Let's go ahead and refresh the Keplr wallet. And then next up, we're going to head over to penumbra.zechub.org, which is a front end that I'm choosing to use. You can use any front end you'd like. So now we're ready to try Veil. And we get there by go to the proper URL, dex.penumbra.zone, and you immediately see the pairs that are available. So we're going to go straight into the USDC because that's what I want to trade. And what I'd like to do, see here we have on the top you have the sell orders in red, and on the bottom you have the green buy orders. So let's see how much 2 will cost. Not too bad, good price right now. So with the amount of USDC I transferred in, I will go ahead and purchase 7 and what we'll do is we'll hit buy and while this is running, it's worth noting that I didn't have to log in here in terms of passwords, emails, username. All I had to do was connect my Prax wallet, which is a huge improvement in user experience. I just wanted to show, highlight that. And looks like the first step is done. And then it needs to verify that the trade, and then as soon as this is verified, notice on the listing on the bottom here, it'll update automatically. It's almost done. And there we go. Bam. Alright, so now that we have successfully turned our USDC into I want to show a pathway or a bridge into Zcash land. And the first step is to go back to our front end, and we're going to withdraw or unshield our into the Osmosis chain. So we're going to select Osmosis as the chain, as the asset, and I'm going to get my Osmosis address from Keplr, and we will unshield these assets. And as soon as this is done executing, the will show up in the Keplr wallet on the right hand side here. It's not quite instantaneous, but it's sufficiently fast for most folks. I love the green box that indicates everything went well. And let me give it one more sec and then I'll refresh Keplr here. Okay, perfect. Notice how it's is now on the Osmosis chain, and it does show up in the Keplr wallet. So now what I want to do is we want to convert this to Ethereum. So there is a quick way of doing that in Keplr. Let me just choose the Ethereum asset, and we'll swap this right away. You can also use USDC as a alternative. Both of these assets live on the Ethereum network, but I think I'm going to use ETH in this case. That way, if I need any network fees, I am ready to roll. Approve. All right. With that running in the background, we are ready to go to our next step, which is near intents. app.near-intents.org. So we're going to choose the ETH network, the Ethereum asset, and notice how the near intent website picks up Ethereum natively through the Keplr wallet, which is a new feature, which is really convenient because you don't have to have multiple wallets. So we're going to approve, and what this will do is it'll deposit the Ethereum into the near intents contract, and once that is complete, we can swap it. We're now go find Zcash, and almost ready for swapping here. And then on the right hand side, you can see that the Osmo to Ethereum transaction is still pending. So we got two things going on at the same time. Okay, as soon as that turns orange, we will be good. There we go. So let me find Zec. There we go. I'll convert all of it. And the last step here is to withdraw. And I'll get my Ywallet out and type in the address, which I conveniently have here. We'll go ahead and approve. Alright, so while this is finishing up, let me open up my Ywallet. There it is, that we got our funds. So the last step here is to shield it, because Near Intents only supports outputting to transparent addresses, so I'm going to send this to the Orchard shielded pool, and using Ywallet here, just do the full amount. Do a quick shielded memo here. So, in summary, what we did tonight, we went from USDC on Coinbase to Penumbra, and from Penumbra to Osmosis, and then to ETH, and then to Zcash. So we've used all these technologies in what I like to call the shielded ecosystem. And let me just get this, we can verify this transaction ID real quick, because I am running a full node. You can use the Block Explorer locally, which helps with privacy. Localhost in the port 4000 in my case. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and remember, privacy is normal.